Hey guys, Night Fox here, bringing you my summer 2016 anime first impressions. So I'll pretty much just be going through the shows I'm watching this season. I'll be reading the synopsis, and then I'll give you guys my thoughts on the series so far. So the first anime I'm watching is 91 Days, and the synopsis is during Prohibition, the law held no power and the mafia ruled the town. The story takes place in Lawless, a town thriving on black market sales of illicitly brewed liquor. Avilio returns to Lawless after some time away, following the murder of his family and a mafia dispute there. One day, Avilio receives a letter from a mysterious sender prompting him to return to Lawless for revenge. He then infiltrates the Venetti family, the ones responsible for his family's murder, and sets about befriending the Don's son Nero to set his vengeance in motion. Killing brings more killing and revenge spawns more revenge. How will the 91-day story of these men, guided by a tragic fate, end? And I am on episode 4 of this show right now. So far, I think the show's pretty good. I like the atmosphere. It's at like the real dark atmosphere. I do like the character and the character designs for that matter as well. I think Avilio is a very interesting character. I like him a lot. I think one of the reasons I do like him is because like when he's infiltrating the Venetti family and like doing different things, it's not like he's like a master. He's not like like the normal MC character who's like super good at everything he does, so it's really easy for him to just like fool people. He does have flaws, and he's not like immediately good at all these like I guess you could say mob associated things. But yeah, character designs are good. Uh, Characters are good. I like Nero as well. He seems like a relatable, just like guy who's just having fun and doing what drinking, going to bars, arm wrestling people when you're drunk, just like silly stuff like that. But yeah, it kind of gives me a little bit of a Joker game vibe too, if from last season, that kind of like dark gritty atmosphere feeling. But yeah, so far I really am really enjoying the show, and I think it's going to be one of the best shows this season. So the next show is Sweetness and Lightning. Kohei Inuzuka is a teacher who has been caring for his little daughter on his own since his wife's death. He's no good at cooking, so he and his daughter Tsumugi have been eating packaged meals from the convenience store. A series of events lead him one evening to a restaurant run by the mother of one of his students, Kotori. Her mother isn't there, but Kotori does her best to feed them both. It turns out Kotori is often alone since her parents are divorced and her mother is frequently not around. The three of them begin to meet and cook tasty food together. So I love this show. Right off the bat, I think it's adorable. The daughter Smugi is just one of the cutest kids you've ever seen. Um, and her relationship with her father is just this show is just a warm, fuzzy, like feel good show. Like no matter like if you're sad or you're happy or if you're angry, if you watch this show, I'm certain you'll come out with a smile on your face. Like it is just so adorable. She's so cute, and a lot of it is like normal. It's like it's really slice of life too, with the stuff like one episode he's like trying to figure out how to get her to eat her vegetables because she doesn't like to eat her vegetables. So he goes to his students Kotori's her mother's restaurant, and they like work together to try to figure out how to cook something that she would like Sumugi, his daughter, would like while getting her to eat her vegetables. So it's really cool in that aspect. Again, it's just real cute. There's not going to be like a big overarching story, so if you're a really story-driven watcher, and that's what really gets you going and makes you like really attached to shows, I wouldn't be sure if I'd recommend this because it doesn't seem so far like there's a lot of like overarching story. It seems like it's kind of like an episodic different thing from each episode. But yeah, I would also recommend this show. It seems like it's going to be a real fun, fuzzy show that, if you just need a good pick me up or you just want to feel warm, this would be a great show to watch. So the next show is Battery. Uh, I'm on episode 3 out of 11 for this show. Meet Takumi Harada, not even in junior high, and he's the best pitcher in the region, although he's frustrated and ready to give up because he can't find a catcher who is good enough to keep up with how he pitches in this backwater town his family has just moved into. Then along comes a kid named Go Nakagura. Alright, so I'm kind of mixed on this show right now. Um, I think the art style is very good. I like some of the characters. The main character, Takumi Harada, I'm not a big fan of right now. He acts real high and mighty because he's like the greatest. He's like a super good pitcher. They've made references how he like could carry. He like carried his old baseball team to like the finals or whatever. I don't really like him that much. He's very stuck up. He has a brother. They haven't really delved too deep into his brother, but there's obviously, I think, some medical problem with him because he keeps telling him like, you can't play baseball, your body can't take it, and he just keeps like putting his brother down, and it's like really arrogant, and he just really gets on my nerves a lot. Um, Aside from him though, most of the characters are enjoyable. I really like Go Nakagura. He's like the catcher for his baseball team, and so him and Takumi are like they call it a battery, which is pitcher and catcher, which is where the name comes from. He's really cool. I like him. He's a very like positive, like happy-go-lucky kind of guy, and I really like him. Yeah, I mean it's a pretty okay show. I'm not sure how much baseball we're gonna see because I'm 3 episodes in, and essentially all we've seen is just Takumi throwing the ball to go. Like essentially that's pretty much all the sport we've got so far. So I'm not sure if it's gonna be like a true blue sports anime or if it's just like a little bit of sport with more slice of life elements. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm gonna keep watching it, see where it goes, and hopefully Takumi gets some character development and stops being a stuck-up prick. All right. So the next show is Days. I'm on episode 5 out of 24, so it's going to be a 2-course show. And the series is about 2 boys named Tsukushi and Jin. Tsukushi is a boy with no special talents or traits, while Jin is considered a soccer genius. On one stormy night, Jin meets Tsukushi and they get dragged into the world of soccer. So I've been enjoying this show so far. It's pretty much your basic sports anime, I think, so far. Tsukushi, he consistently says like he's no good. He's not particularly good at anything. He's just kind of average, which you see a lot when he plays soccer. He's not very good, but his like one big thing he keeps saying is that all he can do is run. So he just keeps running, and that's like his thing so far, I guess. When they play soccer, that's like he gets outplayed and he goes, all I can do is keep running. And so like whenever a ball's about to go out, like you'll see him as he runs and tries to keep it in, that kind of stuff. It's okay. We haven't seen much soccer being played, oddly enough, in the sports shows so far this season. We haven't seen the sport really being played that much. But the characters, I like them all pretty much. Tsukushi every now and then still gets on my nerves because, he keeps saying like, I'm not good at anything, I guess gotta do what I gotta do, and he like puts himself down a lot. But I guess that's like what they're trying to build him into, and then make him like for his character to develop against around the season, I guess. In the beginning though, in the very first episode, in the very beginning, before the opening, there was like a little clip, which I guess is gonna be later in the season, where they do have like a little soccer clip, and it looked pretty good. It seemed like they were able to capture the show and like the animation well. They did do an overhead shot, and it was CG, the characters moving, but it wasn't like super obtrusive. I mean, it was okay. It wasn't a big deal. The other main character, Jin, I mean, he seems okay. We haven't really seen him a whole lot, really. It's been more Tsukushi just interacting with a lot of the freshmen and then the captain, but we haven't really seen a lot of him. But I mean, he's okay, I guess, from what we've seen. But yeah, art style's okay. Again, just this little bit CG and the little bit of soccer we've seen, but yeah, I think it's going to be an enjoyable show. So next is First Love Monster. I'm on episode 4 of this show. Nikado Kaho is a daughter of a rich family, and her whole life everyone's been nice to her. When moving to her new high school dormitory, she almost gets hit by a truck, but is saved by a boy. It's love at first sight for Kaho, but when asking him his name, he tells her she's weird. Kaho is shocked since it's the first time anyone's said mean things to her. Soon enough, she finds out that the boy who saved her life lives in the same dormitory, and so she bravely confesses her love. The boy says his name is Kanade and agrees to go out with her. Unfortunately, the following day, Kaho finds out that her first boyfriend is a fifth grader. Okay, so this show is weird, I guess, to say the least. So her boyfriend Kanade clearly looks like he is not a fifth grader. He looks like a full grown man, or not. I guess like a full grown. He looks like a high school kid, essentially a high school boy. And but he acts like a fifth grader. That's for sure. He has two friends. Well, three friends. Two of his friends are exactly like him. They look like they're high school guys, but they act and they're in fifth grade. And then they have another kid who actually looks like he's in fifth grade, which is very surprising and acts older than all of them. So, obviously there's some, I guess that's like what kind of one thing they were contrasting, that the youngest kid who actually looks like he's in fifth grade acts like a high schooler, and the people who look like they're in high school act like they're in fifth grade. This show, I don't even know. I mean, it's a lot of dick jokes. It's a lot of like primary school humor, like a lot of like fifth grade humor. But I mean, there doesn't really seem. I mean, I guess there is an overarching story. Nothing really too serious though. It is kind of just like a comedy. I think it's playing on the trope a little bit too, about like how in other anime you'll have like kids that they say like, oh, these kids are in junior high or high school, and they're clearly not. And I think this is kind of like a parody, kind of like flipping that around. The show is, I mean, the art style is fine. There's nothing wrong with the art or the animation. Just the show is weird. I mean, we had one episode where a girl was sniffing panties, and then it went like all grudge like she was like exorcism girl, and it was real crazy. But I mean, yeah, I mean, if you like childish humor, you think you'd find that funny, or you just like the flipping around of people looking older and being young. I mean, I guess it's go for it. I mean, it's a comedy, so I'm not really sold on it. I'm not a big fan of it, but I'll keep watching it to the end to see how it turns out. All right, so the next show we have that I'm watching this season is Hitori no Shita, the Outcast. I'm on episode 4 out of, they haven't announced how many episodes it is yet, so one day, Zhang Chulan is attacked by zombies in a graveyard. In the midst of that situation, he saves the life of a girl, throwing the kitchen knife in his hand in order to kill the enemies. The girl tells Chulan, who is relieved to face his hardships head on, and leaves. However, Chulan later sees that girl again at his university. From that moment, Zhang Chulan's destiny begins to move. There will be strangers with special powers appearing one by one, with battles involving these abilities. Each episode will bring a new mystery to light. Alright, so far, I'm not really impressed with this show at all. The animation is okay. The art gets a little wonky at times. Like, when you're not, like, sometimes you'll see characters, like, to the side if they're not, like, in the middle of the screen. Sometimes the faces look a little wonky. It's not super good, really, and I'm not really sure where the show is going. It seems like we've been moving really slow. They've introduced the bad guys not really heavily. They've mentioned them. I'm not really sure where it's going, really. I mean, the fight scenes, I will say, the fight scenes are pretty cool. They're pretty good. We've only had like 2 of them though, and they haven't been very long. But yeah, so like they have these special abilities. Honestly, kind of reminds me of DBZ, like when they go Super Saiyan, they have like the aura around them. That's kind of what we've seen so far of these abilities. So like the main character and the girl, like that's what they pretty much do. They have like this key around them, and that's how they fight. I think it just boosts their like reflexes and power, I think. And then so we have those guys, and then another guy can like lift rocks and throw rocks. So I'm not really sure what the extent of the powers are. If you can have different powers, if they're all the same powers, just like on a different power level, like different scale or whatever. I mean, I don't know. The main character also, Chulon, kind of irks me. He's like, I don't know, he's just really annoying. And he's just like, really, he's like a pansy. Like, he's really submissive. He just annoys the crap out of me most of the time. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the show. I don't think this is going to be very good unless somehow, I mean, I'm only on episode 4, so maybe they turn it around for the rest of the season, but I'm not really seeing it. So I wouldn't really recommend this show if you're looking for shows to watch this season. Next show is This Art Club Has a Problem. I'm on episode 4. Alright, so This Art Club Has a Problem focuses on an art club in a certain middle school and its members. Subaru Uchimaki, who is a genius at drawing faces but only wants to draw the perfect 2D wife. Colette, a rich troublemaker who never stops making mischief. And the club president, who sleeps through sessions and collects sleeping aids. Mizuki Usami is the only person in the club who wants to do art club-like activities and constantly struggles to do so. So I'm liking this show so far. Art's fine, animation's fine, pretty standard fare. Characters, I actually really like the characters. Uchimaki, Subaru, he's the one who just wants to draw 2D girls. I think it's really funny. He keeps trying to one up himself. He keeps saying like, this one I'm gonna be drawing my perfect waifu, and he just like keeps making iterations. Like he'll have Neko girls, like fairy girls, stuff like that. It's pretty funny. Although I think so far, although she hasn't been in a whole lot of episodes, I really like Colette. I'm not sure if she's in high school. I don't think she is. I think she's in middle school, but she is just super hilarious. She's over dramatic. She like blows everything out of proportion. I just love her character. I think she's super funny. Like one episode, I think like she lost something, and then she found her pocket, and she's like, "Oh, I feel so bad for you. Must commit seppuku." I just think she's the greatest character in the show so far. And then we have Usami Mizuki. Yeah, she's also pretty good. She's like the one who wants to do art club like activities. She likes Uchimaki, which is really prevalent right off the bat. But obviously, he keeps like whenever she tries to make advances, Uchimaki's just like, I'm not interested in 3D girls. Like, why would I be interested in 3D girls? I have my 2D waifus over here. So overall, I'm finding it really enjoyable. I will say one thing about the show is although it is a full-length show, it's not like one cohesive story. So I think so far it's been pretty much 3 smaller stories inside one episode. So it's not like one big overarching plot line with like really, really plot-driven. It's more just like 3 separate stories of just like mischief and cute things that the club gets into. But yeah, I'm really liking this show. I think it's gonna be pretty good. Yeah, so enjoying it so far. I really like the characters. So if character interactions and characters are what really sells you on a show, I would implore you to check this one out because I think you'd find it pretty enjoyable. Next show, Mob Psycho 100. I'm on episode 3 out of this one, and the synopsis is Kageyama Shigeo, aka Mob, is an 8th grader with psychic abilities. He could bend spoons and lift objects with his mind from a young age, but he slowly began to withhold from using his abilities in public due to the negative attention he kept receiving. Now, the only thing he wants is to become friends with a girl in his class, Tsubomi. With his psychic mentor, which has no psychic powers, he continues his daily life attempting to realize his purpose in life. So, this is made by the same person who made One Punch Man. It's written by the same person. And I'm kind of having the same issues that I had with One Punch Man. So, Mob, he works for this essentially con man, who, he runs like an exorcism business where people, if they have like spiritual problems with ghosts or whatever, they come to him and he'll like try to take care of it. And if it turns out that like it's actually like there's actually ghosts or a spirit or something, then he calls Mob, who has actual powers, to like take care of it for him. And he plays it off as like, oh, I'm your teacher, I'm giving you experience. So, why would I waste my time with this when you could get experience? So like that's how he like kind of keeps Mob with him. But so far, I'm not really enjoying the show. Art style, it's weird, I think. In my opinion, it's not the greatest art style. I will say the animation is good. It's really smooth. Whenever Mob fights the spirits, animation is really good. It flows really nicely. The colors, how they use the colors are nice. How they like show the fights is really good. But I'm just not a big fan of the art style. And again, I'm having a lot of the issues that I had with One Punch Man, where it's like, here's One Punch Man, here's a big enemy, he beats it really easily, and maybe a joke in the middle, right? And that's kind of what I felt like One Punch Man was. It didn't really have like a lot of meat. In my opinion, if you loved the show, that's perfectly fine. It just didn't really do much for me. And Mob's feeling the same thing. Like, here's Mob, he finds a spirit, and then he kills it like super easily. And then maybe there's maybe like a couple jokes in between about like him, how he doesn't have a girlfriend or whatever, how he wants to be a girlfriend, right? So I'm not really seeing any like plot, like any really main plot so far. I mean, it's just kind of been like episodic, which is maybe what it's going for, but it's not really doing it for me. It just seems like an episodic thing. Kills a dude really easily, a couple jokes in between, let's move on. So if you like this show, props. That's completely fine. I understand where you're coming from. I can see where there are things to like about the show and how you could like it as a package. It's just honestly not the show for me. So the next show I'm going to be talking about is Alderamin on the Sky. I'm on episode 4, and the synopsis is: the mighty Katvarna Empire is currently embroiled in a war with the neighboring Kyoraka Republic. Within a unspecified corner of this empire, a certain young man was reluctantly preparing to take the high-grade military officer exam owing to mysterious circumstances. His name is Ikta. As a man, Ikta abhors war, is slothful by nature, and worships the female form. At the time, no one could have possibly predicted that a person like him would become a military figure worthy of being called a legendary general. The young Ikta, armed with his superb talents as a soldier, struggles to survive in a world ravaged by war. This tale will recount his tumultuous life up until this point, as the curtains are drawn for a spectacular chronicle of fantastical warfare. So I'm really enjoying this show. In my opinion, this is one of the most underrated shows of this season. I really like the setting. It's kind of like, I wouldn't say, maybe like industrial revolutionary kind of mixed with medieval. I mean, there's a lot of swords, but there are guns that they use, so it's kind of like in between there. I really like the characters. Ikta, I really enjoy him. Just his character, how he plays out, how he's this lazy bum who doesn't really want to do anything, but he's like super smart and he's really tactically smart. And so how the show really starts out is, Ikta, Solark, and his friend, Yatricino, I think they just call it Yatori for short. They're gonna take the high grade military officer exam. I think the thing is, I think what they said was Yatori wants Ikta to like throw the exam so it makes her easier to get in. I'm not really sure. They didn't really go into the exam that much, but I think that was like the main gist. So what happens is they're on a ship going to the exam, and they get attacked and they get shipwrecked. And so it's Ikta, Yatori, and then two more of his friends. One has a gun, Yatori, Torway, and Matthew. And they also have Shamil, who is actually the princess of the kingdom. And so, they save her, and then they're brought to the kingdom, and the king's like, "Thank you for saving my daughter. Boom, I make you all high-grade military officers without having to take the exam."
And so, that's great for some of them, but Ikta's like, I don't want this. I don't want to be a hero. I don't want to be like this big shot, right? So it's just kind of like him, how he, so far, it's like how they're just like doing training exercises. So it's like how he has become a commander and how he commands his troops. And one really interesting thing, one thing I like about him is how he's super lazy, but he says it's all in the name of science. He fights using what he calls the like scientific method. And so what he says is science is what causes laziness, or laziness leads to science. So he says like one of his quotes is like humans built wells so they wouldn't have to go all the way and walk to the river. And so like what he's saying is like science uh, embraces laziness and like promotes it. And so I really like how you can really see that in his tactics for how he chooses to like fight and choose encounters and stuff. How he really just like the laziest way, but he uses science, which I think is really cool. I'm really excited about this show. I think it's going to be really cool. If you like that kind of MC who uses his brain more than his brawn to like outwit opponents, I think you'd really like this show. It's got like a hint of Code Geass. If you liked that show, with like the whole like the using your mind over your brawn kind of thing and outmaneuvering your opponents and just outwitting them. Granted, there are no mechs in this show. It's just foot soldiers with guns and swords. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really solid show and the dark horse of the season, I think, for a lot of people. So next is Orange. I'm on episode 5 of this show. And the synopsis is one day, Naho Takamiya receives a letter written to herself from 10 years in the future. As Naho reads on, the letter recites the exact events of the day, including the transfer of a new student into her class named Kakeru Naruse. The Naho from 10 years later repeatedly states that she has many regrets, and she wants to fix those by making sure that the Naho from the past can make the right decisions, especially regarding Kakeru. What's more shocking is that she discovers that 10 years later, Kakeru will no longer be with them. Future Naho asks her to watch over him closely. So again, this is one of my favorite shows of the season, hands down. I really like it. Obviously, it's a slice of life with, I guess, a little hint of supernatural because the letter from her future self. But yeah, so essentially, she just gets this letter one day. She's going to school, opens her bag, and then she finds a letter addressed to herself from who's claiming to be her future self. And it's like reciting the exact events that happens. So like she's like reading this letter, and as she's reading the events that happens, it's happening in the show. So like kind of proving that this letter is actually telling her what's going to happen. And so like I just really like the show. The art style I think it's different, but I think it works really well with the show. I really like it. Animation's fine. Character designs I like. I love all the characters too. They're just really like relatable high school kids. Like when you see these kids and how they interact, it's like yes, like that's how I interacted with my friends in high school. Like that's how it was, and I think it just makes it really relatable. Again, I'm a sucker for slice of life shows, so maybe I'm more inclined to like this. But I think it's really good, and so we see like Naho in current like high school days, but then we also do see I guess flash forwards, I guess you'd want to call it, of her 10 years in the future and like kind of what happened and just like what happened to all the friends afterwards and what's happened in the future. It does mostly focus on the high school life though, and just like Naho like reading these things, the regrets that she has, and then having like trying to change them, but Naho is still Naho, even though there's like 10 years in the future and 10 years in the past. So like she's still struggling with some of these things that the future her is asking her to like try to change so that they don't have the regrets. But yeah, I mean, I really like the show. I don't really have anything negative to say about it so far. I think it's really enjoyable. Again, like all the characters, interactions I think are great. And yeah, I think it just has a real compelling story, and you get really attached to these characters, I think. Which I think is what they're going for, because obviously Kakeru will no longer be with them. That's a humongous flaw that probably anyone who's watched some of their shows will understand what's going to happen. So I think that's the point they're trying to get build up to get you connected with these characters, and I think they're doing a really good job so far. So I would suggest that you check it out this season. I think it's going to be again a true gem of this season. The next show is Planetarian. I'm on episode 4 now. This does only have 5 episodes, so I'll kind of give you my thoughts on what's happened so far, considering we're pretty much to the end. So it may be more review as well as first impression, but let's get on to synopsis. It is 30 years after the failure of the space colonization program. Humanity is nearly extinct. A perpetual and deadly rain falls on the Earth. Men known as Junkers plunder goods and artifacts from the ruins of civilization. One such Junker sneaks alone into the most dangerous of all ruins, a sarcophagus city. In the center of this dead city, he discovers a pre-war planetarium. As he enters, he is greeted by Hoshino Yumeme, a companion robot. Without a single shred of doubt, she assumes he is the first customer she's had in 30 years. She attempts to show him the stars at once, but the planetarium projector is broken. Unable to make heads or tails of her conversation, he ends up agreeing to try and repair the projector. This is based off a game. Never played the game, but this show it's pretty okay. I'd say it's a little bit more middle of the road. It's not really super fantastic or bad. I will note it's not a full-length show. The times kind of jump around. One episode's 18, other one's 13, other one's 16. So it's kind of, I think altogether it's gonna be around like 100 minutes. But I mean it's a decent show. The companion robot Yumeme is she's really adorable. And like she doesn't quite understand what the main character is saying. Like when he says like I'm the only one here, like there's no one else here. She's like, I know, but I'm waiting for like the next customers because I'm sure they'll come. And it's like, I think one of the things I've picked up on, I think, is Kazuya, who is the Junker who wanders into the planetarium. You know, he lives in this like desolate world. There's been like this horrible war that's like decimated cities and like the world. So he's like this like really like hardcore like survival guy. And then he meets Hoshino Yumeme, who is like this innocent, like always happy, super like go lucky robot. And I think it's really interesting how they like really contrast the two characters. And it's like Yumeme is like bringing back that like kind of like human, more innocent, more caring side of Kazuya, and like really making him like giving him a new kind of perspective on the life that he's living by you know, trying to show him like these planetarium shows and these like projections and stuff. Yeah, like I said, I'm on episode 4. There's only one episode left. I think it's gonna wrap up okay. I think. I mean, granted, they only have 5 episodes, so I think the time that they had though does give them a good time, the bookmark, to really like bookend the story they wanted to tell. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot more to say about it. Art's nice, animation's fine, but yeah, I think it's a worthwhile investment. I mean, like I said, it's only going to be about an hour and a half. So I think if you're slightly interested at all, I think it would be a worthy investment of your time. So the next show is Qualidea Code. I'm on episode 4 of this show. The story takes place in a world where people continue their war against the unknown, the enemy of humanity. Children who have been evacuated to a cold sleep facility during the invasion by the unknown several decades ago wake up from their slumber and learn that their bodies have developed some supernatural forces. In order to protect the country from the unknown, emerging from the Tokyo Bay Gate, the boys and girls wage battles in the defense of the cities of Tokyo, Kanagawa, and Chiba. Alright, so this show, I'm liking it pretty much so far. The main character, who is, they call him Ikun. Ichiya Suzaku is his name. He gets a little bit on my nerves. Kind of like the same reason I was talking about Battery, the main character from that earlier. He acts really arrogant. He thinks he's like so much better than everyone else. And in like the defense force they're in, I guess there's like a ranking. And he's like super focused on the ranking system. Like he's like number 4, and he's like, no time I'll be number 3. And he like takes rank as like, if you're beneath him in rank, you're beneath him. in life, and like you don't like you're beneath him and you shouldn't like back talk him or anything. You just listen to what he says and do it. Um, he seems like he's changing a little bit. He seemed like he changed a little bit in the fourth episode. Aside from him, I do like the characters pretty much. There's like the commander, the princess they call her. Love her. I think she's funny. She's the twin tail lolly with a humongous sword, and he's super strong. She's pretty cool. I do like the supernatural powers they have developed, though. I think those are really cool. So the main character Ichiya, he has like this gravity power where he can fly, and he has like these gravity orbs that he can like shoot at stuff, and they like crush them. I think it causes them to explode. Um, like I said, the princess has a humongous sword that like grows bigger and she can cut through things. Um, Two other members of like their force are brother and sister Kasumi Chigusa and Asuha Chigusa. The brother is like a long range sniper, and his sister dual wields pistols that are fire and ice. So like one fires fire, I guess bullets, the other one fires ice. Um, I think the abilities are really cool, and the main character's sister, um, Canaria, her ability is like she sings and like she buffs people. So like she actually like sings through a microphone and it goes out and it like shields the other people that are fighting the unknown. It like gives them a buff. I think it's really cool. The fight scenes I think are really interesting. The art style's good. I like it. Animation's fine. Uh, yeah, the art style. I mean the fights I think are really cool. I really like how they like. It's not just like one blast and it's over. Like some of the enemies are stronger than and they have to like really work together and figure out how to use their abilities in tandem. And then there's some humor thrown in. So I think overall it's gonna be it's not like a standout show by any means, but I think it's a pretty good average show this season. So yeah, if you like action shows with some superpowers and stuff, I think it'd be worth checking out. The next show is Rewrite. I'm on episode 5 of this show, and the synopsis is Kazuya Matsuri, a modern, well-developed city renowned for its burgeoning greenery and rich Japanese culture, is home to Kotaru Tenoji, a high schooler least privy to the place's shared values. Content to fill his pockets with frivolity, the proud and noisy boy whiles away his time pestering the self-proclaimed delinquent Haruhiko and indulging in his amorous feelings toward the oddball Kotori. Equipped with the superhuman ability to permanently rewrite any part of his body to multiply his strength or speed, Kotaru is naturally drawn to the supernatural. One special meeting with the lone member and president of the occult research club, The Witch, Akane Senri, leads to Kotaru reviving the occult club by recruiting Kotori and 3 other members. The clumsy transferred student Chihaya, the strict class representative Lucia, and the unassuming Suzuru. As Kotaru unveils hidden secrets of each member of the occult club through their shared adventures, he will inevitably encounter a fate that only he may be able to rewrite. Alright, so this is based off a visual novel, which is really plain to see if you're watching this show. I mean, like, the way the scenes move and how it's progressing. I mean, like, if you watch the show and you've played some visual novels, it's really clear. Like, you can see it being played like a visual novel. So far, I'm enjoying it. I'm a little concerned right now, because as in visual novels, you have to go through each girl's route. And I'm on episode 5, and there's only 13 episodes in this show. We've only just kind of like started going through the girls' routes, so I'm a little bit afraid that I'm not sure if they're gonna have enough time to like really close out this show properly. I hope they do, but I feel like they're like tossing these things in while we're moving forward, like little tidbits here and there and there and there, and I just hope that they don't try to cram too much into the end of the show, because I feel like we got some more girls stories to go through, and then we may only have like 2 or 3 episodes left. Oh, okay, no, I guess we would have a couple more, but I'm hoping that they'll pace it well. It is It is Key, so I have faith in Key. I think they'll do well. I do trust the Key. But art style's fine. Characters adorable. Um, all the girls are super cute. Um, even the one girl who's like this ghost that Kotaru ran in the very beginning. In the very beginning of the show, like he had like a quote unquote dream where she was there and she just like killed him like instantly, and so like she's been showing up here and there. And then in the first episode too, he like went through a door into an altered dimension and fought like this big monster. And then that's just not been spoken of again. So I'm interested to see how they kind of like bring it all together. But yeah, art style, I really love it. All the girls are super cute. I have faith it's going to be good. Although the main thing of this show was rewrite, how he's able to rewrite any part of his body, it barely happened. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be more prominent, if they've just taken things out of the visual novel to condense it more in anime form, but that's a small thing for me, really, a small little quibble I have over the show. But overall, I'm enjoying it. I have faith it'll end well. So if you like Key, if you like Moe characters, that visual novel type of feel, I think should be a good show to check out. The next show is Servamp. I'm on episode 4, and the synopsis is the story revolves around a 16-year-old boy named Mahiru Shirota who likes simple things and dislikes difficult things. One day he picks up a stray black cat he finds in the middle of the road and gives it the name Kuro, which literally translates into black. From this moment on, a contract between the servant Sleepy Ash and Mahiru is formed, and Mahiru is pulled into the Servamp war between the 7 deadly Servamps and their 8th sibling Tsubaki. This show is interesting. I'm liking it so far. There's some things that irk me, though. One interesting thing I will say is he gets the cat Kuro, which then when exposed to light, in the darkness, he turns into a vampire, like a teenage vampire boy. But one interesting thing is all the siblings are named after the 7 deadly sins, except for Tsubaki, since he's the eighth one. It's very, very like predictable. It really follows the trope really heavily. Like you can pretty much predict what's going to happen. I mean, it's still not bad. The fight scenes are okay. I actually like the art style, and I like the art style and the character designs. I think they're pretty cool. I think there's a lot of diversity too. I really like Tsubaki actually, like I guess the antagonist of the show. I really like him and his personality, and just like how he's like super calm. He's just doing stuff because he wants to do stuff. I really like his character. Character designs around, like I said, are good. Animation's fine. I mean, it's a decent show, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those shows. I mean, if you like vampire shows, with some comedy thrown in action, I guess this is an okay show. I'll continue watching it, just to see where it goes, but nothing special. And then the next show we have is Taboo Tattoo. I'm on episode 4, and the synopsis is Seigi, a martial arts trained middle schooler, often feels driven to protect the weaker people around him. One day, he defends a homeless man against some punks, and the man gives him a strange tattoo on his palm in return. The tattoo is a secret weapon produced in the arms race between America and the Serenstan Kingdom. Seigi finds himself in over his head when a powerful girl using the same secret weapon violently pursues him in order to retrieve it. His skill at martial arts may not be enough to keep him alive, but will he be able to learn how to trigger the power of his tattoo in time? Alright, so I actually am enjoying this show pretty much, for the most part. I like the character designs. I like the story too. I like the concept. How so all of like the people will have a tattoo on their hand, and it will do a specific power. So for example, one of the people gives them super strength. Another one can like I think nullify one of like another tattoo. And then Segi, who gets who's the main character in the show, gets this thing called Voidmaker, which essentially just creates a humongous black hole that evaporates everything, vaporizes everything. And the interesting thing is, most of the tattoos require a an activator, like some kind of activator to like get the ability to go. So like for the superhuman strength girl, um, Bluesy Floozy is her name, believe it or not. Um, for her, it's chalk, so she has to crush chalk on her hand, and it activates her tattoo, and you can have it active for a limited amount of time. Like the characters, animation, standard fare. I think it's gonna be a good show though. I like the variety there. Introducing fight scenes have been really interesting, and one thing I do like is the main character has been trained in martial arts by his grandfather, I believe, and so he has some he does have some like prior training. He can fight. So it's like kind of him trying to figure out how to use his martial arts like in tandem with his the benefits his tattoo gives him. Even though like his tattoo is super powerful as they've alluded to, and it's like he doesn't really quite have complete control over it yet. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a good show. Again, nothing super spectacular, but it's good. Characters are pretty nice too. I mean, you have Segi, and then you have the childhood friend um, who obviously likes him and tries to like keep him in check and like help him and stuff. But yeah, I like main characters. I like the enemies they've introduced too. I just yeah, the main thing that I think is drawing me in is all the different powers. I really like seeing all the different powers they have, how you activate them, and how you really have to think about how I can use my power and my tattoo to successfully beat the opponent's tattoo. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a pretty good show this season. Next, we have Tales of Zesteria the X. I'm on episode 4 out of 12. And the synopsis is: Sorey is a human youth who grew up among the Seraphim, spiritual beings not visible to humans. Sorey believes in the folklore that says long ago every human was able to see the Seraphim, and dreams of unraveling the ancient mystery to make the world a place where people and Seraphim can live together in peace. One day, Sorey visits the human capital for the very first time. He becomes embroiled in an incident during which he pulls out a holy sword embedded in a rock and ends up becoming a shepherd, one who casts away calamity from the world. He begins to realize the gravity of his mission, and his dream of coexistence between mankind and the Seraphim becomes more intense, and thus the shepherd embarks on an amazing journey with his companions. So let's get this out of the way first off. Animation and art, beautiful. It's by Ufotable. So God Eater, Fate Zero Unlimited Blade Works, or Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, and Fate Zero. So obviously, when they're doing a show, it's going to be really, really high quality. You can see it in this show. Fight scenes, amazing as always. If you've seen any of the Fate series, you know how amazing they animate their fights. No different here. Characters, pretty good. I like them. I like the personalities of them. I like Sorey, happy-go-lucky kind of guy. And then we have Alicia, who is the princess of the kingdom, who's been through some dark stuff, some horrifying stuff, and so she's a good contrast to Sorey when they meet. One thing is the story I feel is barely going anywhere. I feel like it's barely moving forward. I feel like we spend a lot of our time just spinning our wheels and not really moving toward a particular goal. It is based on the Tales of Zesteria game. I've never played the game, so I don't know if if the story in the game was just slow, but it's definitely slow so far in the show. I do think I think it may start to pick up, because I feel like 4 episodes in, which is more like 5 because there was an episode 0 in the show. I feel like hopefully we've gone through most of the exposition and we can really start going, but we have 8 episodes left, so I feel like there is some time to really get through and get a nice conclusion. But I'm just scared if it keeps moving at this pace. I feel like nothing is really gonna get solved, and it's gonna be one of those shows where it like ends at like a crucial cliffhanger. It's like buy the game if you want to figure out how the story ends, which I really hope it's not going to do. Um, but yeah, as I said, Ufotable, amazing art, amazing animation. Character designs are great. The one bad guy we've seen so far, love his character design. And yeah, the fights so far with magic and all this and all that have been pretty good. There is some CG. I will say that there is a little bit of CG for some of the enemies, but I don't think it's not really a big problem. I think Ufotable handles it pretty well. So yeah, I don't think it's a big issue. So if you're a fan of the Tales games, I'd suggest watching it. Um, Again, I don't think I hope it's gonna wrap up. I think it will really start to move along now that we've got most of the exposition out of the way, and Ufotable, it's never hard to watch. So um, if you like action shows like that, then I suggest you give it a try. So now for the sequels this season that came out, we have Arslan Seki, uh, or the Heroic Legend of Arslan, Dust Storm Dance. So this is second season of Arslan. Um, there may be some spoilers here for this and Shokugeki second season, which I'm going to be talking about after this. There may be some spoilers from the first season of these shows that I talk about. So if you don't want to be spoiled on that, I would suggest now that you pause the video. All the timestamps for the different shows will be in the description. So if you just want to skip this show and move on to the next one, there'll be timestamps for you to do that. Anyway, so season 2 kind of picks off where season 1 left off. Arslan, he has his band, Give, Narcissus, Daryun, Ferangis, all that, and they're in Peshawar Citadel. And so what happens is actually King Andragoras, who, if you remember, is still alive, actually he escapes from Ekbatana and the Lusitanians, and he actually rides back and gets to Peshawar. And so everyone's like, holy crap, the king's still alive, and now, and so they're like all happy to see him. So he takes his rightful seat as the king, and then what he tells Arslan to do is to go and collect 50,000 men and bring it back to the Citadel. To serve his king and help him get men to reclaim the city of Ekbatana by himself. So Arslan by himself has to go and collect 50,000 men. And what many of his people in his group, are thinking are like, that's essentially exile. You're essentially exiling Arslan. Because for one single man, even though he is the crown prince, to go and collect 50,000 men is a humongous, monumental task that probably wouldn't be possible. So Arslan heads out. And so I was really interested because I was thinking, all right, Arslan's been around, surrounded by his group for a very long time. So this will be interesting. We'll get to see him out on his own and really see if we're gonna get some individual character development for Arslan. Unfortunately and unsurprisingly, as you probably would guess, his whole group defies the king, leaves in the middle of the night, and goes to help Arslan. So Daryun, Narcissus, Give, who's actually away at this point, I believe, from the end of the first season, Ferangis, Elam, and Alfred. So they all come back and they catch up to Arslan. They're like, we will help you get these 50,000 men, because we respect you, we think you're going to be a good ruler, and so forth. And so that's really where the second season is going. It's him trying to collect up 50,000 men. He needs to get the men, not only do that, but he needs to, get money to get these men, to support to get money to be able to support the army financially as well. So animation, art, pretty much same style as the first season. Pretty standard. I will say, for big battles, the CG has not gotten better. It's still pretty bad, kind of an eyesore. Very noticeable. And what they have, the soldiers they have CG just keep repeating the same motion over and over. Not very good. But like in the first season, whenever it's the main characters fighting Narcissus, Daryun, Arslan even, when they fight, the animation is good. It's no worries there. The animation and the art style are fine when it's the main characters fighting. And then, so we figure out what Guy's been up to, because if you remember, Narcissus sent him away and he comes back, and so that kind of adds to what's happening. So if you liked the first season of The Heroic Legend of Arslan, I would highly suggest watching it. It is only 8 episodes, so I think it's going to be more abbreviated. I think what the producer or the studio behind the show said was that these are like the side stories. I think they may have said something about they may have like said something about a season 3 where like if they made a season 3 or a season like a full season 2, these would have been the stories they left out. So I don't know if that means we're gonna get a third season or what. But so yeah, 8 episodes. But yeah, if you like the first season, I think you'll enjoy the second season because it's pretty much much of the same that was in the first season. And then the last show that I'm watching this season is Shokugeki no Souma, the second plate. So second season of Shokugeki no Souma picks up right where the first season left off, where we're just right in the middle of the autumn elections. Again, it's much the same as the first. It's leaning more episodic though, which I'm okay with. I understand, since it's a tournament. They're kind of like trying to do like one episode's this tournament, like one episode's this fight, next episode's this fight, so on and so forth. Art, animation, same as before, pretty good. The food cooking is still super good. The way they animate them cooking the food is great. Some interesting new characters introduced that I really like. And as always, there's the foodgasms and the comedy and stuff in there. So yeah, much of the same of the first season, really. 13 episodes. I'm 5 in. I'm wondering what they're going to do with the ending of the show, because I feel like at the pace we're moving at now, the autumn elections is going to finish. And then I feel like they're going to do a cliffhanger thing. It's going to be like manga bait, essentially. Like, here's this big cliffhanger, go buy the manga. Which I'm not going to be a huge fan of. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're going to, keep this going. I hope they do. I'm not sure how much source material is left. I haven't read the manga. But yeah, I mean, it's much the same. Not a whole lot to say. If you watch the first season, you'll like the second season, really. Not the same. A little bit more, like I said, episodic, but I think it works well with what the show's going for. So those are the shows that I'm watching this season. So I would have to say the top 5 for me, in no particular order for this season, are going to be 91 Days, Sweetness and Lightning, Orange, Alderamin of the Sky, and for my last one, I'm going to say, you know what? I'll say Rewrite. I'm gonna have faith that it'll end up and it'll wrap up nicely. So those are gonna be my top 5 for the season. Let me know what you guys are looking forward to in the comments down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys with the end of season review when this season wraps up. All right, take care. See you guys next time.